ready now. First time storyteller coming up. All right. He has worked as an activity director in long-term care facilities for more than 20 years, as an administrator for more than 5 years. He's also part of the father and son comedy rap group duo Knuckleheads, with his son Jackson, who's also in attendance. The group is known for its unique live shows, and they have been featured on the legendary Dr. Demento radio show. He enjoys spending time with his son, singing karaoke, playing Scrabble, and drawing the Wu-Tang Clan logo wherever he goes. Sorry, I love that back. He's also the greatest white middle-aged rapper who lives within a mile of Parkway Brewery. He has seen every episode of ALF at least twice, and owns every Stimulator Jones album on vinyl. Put your hands together for Stevie D!
All right, how we doing, Hoot and Holler? All right, so I'm Stephen Davies. Most people know me as Stevie D. I'm used to being on stage, but not quite in this format. I'm used to rapping with my old group Illbots, or with my son who's here tonight, Jax with Knuckleheads. So, if y'all could do something to make me feel a little bit more comfortable up here, I'd greatly appreciate it. Will y'all do a little hip-hop exercise with me real quick? Thank you. This will make me feel more comfortable, and then we'll go on with the customer service. All right, Sam, drop that beat. All right, how's everybody doing in the house tonight? Give it up to Lee. Yeah. Just throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. And if you're ready to hoot and have to holler some more, then somebody say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sam, give it up for Stimulator Jones, y'all. All right, Lee, thank you for your intro. Like she said, I'm Stephen Davies. My customers for the last 25 years have been the elderly in nursing homes. I never thought I'd work in nursing homes in a million years when I was younger. I thought those places smelled like pee. So I had a friend in college who talked me into it, and I have done it ever since for 25 years, and I have loved it. Now, what people tend to picture with nursing homes is that they're sad, depressing places where the elderly sit around and wait to die. And oftentimes they can be sad. However, the stories I want to share with you tonight are that showing that these communities can also be filled with fun, laughter, and joy. So if y'all are ready for story number one, say yeah! All right. So it's Christmas time, and every year at our nursing home we put up an angel tree in the lobby. Do y'all know what an angel tree is? Okay. So the angel tree would have the names of residents on it, and the staff could pick a name off the tree to buy a gift for. The name I picked was for one of my favorite residents ever, Carly. Now, Carly wasn't her real name. I can't say her real name. Her real name was Cordy. Carly was ridiculously hilarious. A lot of times residents will make jokes and I would politely laugh to make them feel better. Carly was genuinely funny and would have me rolling on the floor with stuff she'd say. Usually when I'd go visit her and ask what she was up to, she would say, burping and farting. And I would say, same. So I had no idea what to get Carly for Christmas. Most of the residents wanted the same typical old lady gifts, whether that's blankets, slippers, pain pills, golden bingo cards, a date with Frank Sinatra, something like that. So I had no idea what to get Carly for Christmas. So I went into her room to ask what she wanted. She was in there with her feet propped up, eating a pimento cheese sandwich. Now she ate pimento cheese sandwiches all day long. I used to tell her that because she ate so many of them, I thought she had worms And one day when I was walking out of her room, I walked down the hall and I heard her under her breath say, "Damn, maybe I do have worms." Anyway, I asked Carly what she wanted for Christmas, and she said, "I want the same thing that I asked you for last year. Bing Crosby shit." Well, I couldn't find Bing Crosby shit anywhere, not even on Amazon, but they have everything. Team U might have it. But I thought about how she was always talking about burping and farting, and I remembered my son being obsessed at the time with the Despicable Me movies with the Minions. Now, if you don't know what the Minions are, they were these Twinkie-looking creatures who spoke their own language, and they burped and farted a lot. And they also had fart guns. So I was thinking to myself, I think Carly would love a fart gun. So Christmas Day comes, and me and the CNAs are delivering gifts to the residents. We get to Carly's room to give her her gift, and I told her, I was like, "I'm sorry, I couldn't find Bing Crosby shit anywhere, but this gift might be even better." So she opened it up and read the box, and it said, "Despicable Me Fart Blaster." And she said, "What the hell is this?" So I put it in her hands and explained it was a gun, but when you squeezed the trigger, fart sounds came out. So when she pulled the trigger, and the smile that came across her face could have lit up the whole nursing home. She was so happy, she fired that fart gun all day long. She would go down the halls in her wheelchair and shoot every resident that crossed her path. They'd say, "Good morning, Carly," and she would. So all the residents got covered in farts, all the staff too, and the volunteers, and the carolers, all covered in farts. I think the family ended up hiding her fart gun at some point. I'm surprised the batteries didn't die on that thing. But it was amazing to see what joy a $15 fart gun could bring an old lady in a nursing home. All right, y'all ready for story number 2? Say yeah. All right. Thank y'all for bearing with me on that. All right, so I started a Star for the Day program at my nursing home, which was very similar to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. We picked a resident at random every month, and we tried to do something special for that resident, just something like taking them to their favorite restaurant, something like that. So one month, a resident named Molly was picked. Her real name was Dolly. Molly couldn't really tell us what she wanted to do. However, she had an Elvis calendar hanging up in her room. So I asked her if she liked Elvis, and she said, "Oh yes, he's my boyfriend, but don't tell my husband." So the light bulb in my head went off, and I decided to try and get an Elvis impersonator in the building. I did a little research, and unfortunately, most of the Elvis impersonators that I found were either pretty old or pretty fat. And I didn't think that that would fool her at all. But I kept searching, and I found an Elvis impersonator in Bedford, of all places. Y'all might know this guy. He's one of the top 10 Elvis impersonators in the country. Yeah. So I called his manager, who was also his mom. And she was able to get me a date for him to come visit us at the nursing home. What a great mom. So we kept it a secret from Molly, and we brought all the residents in the dining room the day of when he was coming, and we just told all the residents that they were coming in the dining room for a sing-along. But then Elvis came in. Molly's face lit up. He was great. That's him. He looked like Elvis, he sang like Elvis, played guitar like Elvis. He was perfect. And at the end of the show, he asked, "Is there a Molly in the audience tonight?" And of course, she raised her hand, and me. And so he serenaded her with "Love Me Tender." She got out of her wheelchair, which made us a little nervous. Please don't fall, please don't fall. And she went over and started to dance with Elvis. It was amazing. But the funniest part was after the performance, Molly invited Elvis to her bedroom. And he went. Mom went with her. And then all she could say for the rest of the day was, Elvis was in my bedroom. Now, of course, a lot of the playa-hating old ladies were, talking trash. They would say, that wasn't Elvis, that was just a man in a costume, or that wasn't Elvis, that was Jerry Lewis. Molly didn't care, though. She had Elvis in her bedroom, and she wasn't going to forget that. So unfortunately, it hasn't always been fun and games with the nursing home. There have definitely been some dark times. COVID wreaked havoc in our nursing home. Our doors were closed for a very long time. No families could visit, no group activities, no outings. It was extremely tough. During COVID, we lost around 30 residents in a period of a month or two. But this was a time when I felt like a job like mine was so important. The staff really came together and showed compassion during this dark time. So what can you do? The residents can barely leave their rooms. No visitors can come in. How can you make the residents happy in such a dark time? So one of the first things we did was buy Facebook portals, which was similar to iPads, and they allowed us to set up video calls between the families and the residents, setting up schedules for almost every resident to make sure they all got calls with their loved ones. And at this point, the residents and family members hadn't seen each other in a long time, so there were a lot of tears when they were able to connect via these Facebook portals. We also set up hallway bingo, and the residents had to always stay 6 feet apart from each other, so we couldn't have them sitting at tables together. Therefore, we set them up with bedside tables, and they were able to sit in their doorways while a staff member would call bingo over the intercom and make jokes in between, which helped a lot. One of the greatest things was we had youth groups from churches and also like preschool students come over and decorate all the windows of the nursing home. So they came over, the residents could sit in their rooms while they drew clouds, trees, and suns, things like that on their windows to make them happy. Also, Healing Strides. Y'all know Healing Strides? Healing Strides is awesome. So they are a local nonprofit that provided therapeutic horse riding for those with personal challenges. They brought the horses to the nursing home free of charge, walked them all around the building, had the horses go up to each window to greet each resident. And then, I think someone else mentioned bagpipers earlier. I made a huge rookie mistake as an activity director when I first started. I got a bagpiper to play inside the building. I've seen Dropkick Murphys. I should have known. It was so loud, all the residents were like, shut up! But during COVID, I got the bagpipe player to play outside the building, and it was so loud that the sound carried inside, and they were able to hear it in their rooms and lift the windows to hear it better if they wanted to. After some time, we were able to get a gazebo that was out front and turn it into a visiting center. So our maintenance director was very creative. He put a partition in the middle of the gazebo where the residents could be on one side and the families could be on the other. And they could connect. He put 2 holes in the middle of the partition, and in those holes, we got creative and put calf birthing gloves in the holes so the residents and their loved ones could put their arms through the calf birthing gloves and hug each other or hold hands. And at that point, they probably hadn't touched in maybe close to a year at that point. So that was amazing. I never thought I would buy calf birthing gloves in bulk on Amazon, but I did. So the COVID-19 pandemic was devastating and maybe the toughest challenge the nursing home industry has gone through. But I'm extremely proud of what our staff and community was able to achieve to bring the residents joy during such a dark time. When the doors finally reopened after what seemed like an eternity, there probably wasn't a dry eye in the place as families reconnected and were able to touch and hug each other once again without calf birthing gloves. Okay, so I'm Stevie D. Thank you for having me out. I just wrote a book about all my funny nursing home experiences. It's called Granny's Got a Fart Gun, Hilarious and Heartwarming Tales from the Nursing Home. I've got copies in the lobby. Would love for y'all to check it out. Thank you. Appreciate you having me.